Some of the best golfers in the world have experienced monumental breakdowns, a rush of nerves that came at simply the wrong time. For these selected few, these mistakes changed the course of their careers forever. Here are some of golf's greatest chokes of all time. Jean Van de Velde, 1999 Open Championship. Jean Van de Velde's collapse at the '99 Open Championship at Carnoustie is one of golf's most remembered moments. Heading into the final hole with a 3-stroke lead, Van de Velde needed only a double bogey to secure victory and the claret jug. On the closing hole in regulation, Van de Velde opted to use a driver off the tee, a decision considered risky given the circumstances. His shot landed to the right of the berry burn, near the rough, but still in a decent position. Instead of playing conservatively, Van de Velde chose a 2-iron, attempting to reach the green. Unfortunately, the ball struck the grandstand and ricocheted off the stone wall, landing in deep rough. Van de Velde's third shot found its way into the berry burn, a small stream guarding the green. Facing an awkward position, he considered hitting from the water before taking a penalty drop. After taking a penalty drop, Van de Velde's next shot landed in a greenside bunker. He got up and down to make a triple bogey 7, which forced a subsequent playoff. In the playoff against Paul Lawrie and Justin Leonard, Van de Velde struggled, and Lawrie eventually won the championship. Despite the meltdown, Van de Velde later stated that the experience never haunted him, and he maintained a positive perspective on his career. Rory McIlroy, 2011 Masters. Rory McIlroy's 2011 Masters collapse was certainly a hard watch. McIlroy began the final round of the 2011 Masters with a 4-shot lead over the field. He had played exceptionally well through the first 3 rounds, showing impressive form. The collapse began on the back 9 of the final round. McIlroy's troubles started on the 10th hole, where he made a bogey, reducing his lead. Rory made another bogey on the 11th hole as the pressure began to mount. Hole 12, known for its treacherous conditions, highlighted where McIlroy's collapse became evident. He hit his tee shot into the water, leading to a double bogey after a 4-putt. This hole marked a significant turning point in his round. On hole 13, McIlroy found himself in even more trouble, hitting his second shot into a creek. His subsequent play led to another drop shot, and his chances of winning diminished rapidly. McIlroy ended the round with an 80, which was the highest final round score among the leaders. He finished tied for 15th, falling from a commanding position to out of contention. Phil Mickelson, 2006 U.S. Open. Phil Mickelson's collapse at the 2006 U.S. Open at Winged Foot was one he never forgot. Mickelson entered the final hole with a 1-shot lead, needing a par to secure his first U.S. Open title and his 3rd consecutive major championship. Throughout the tournament, Mickelson had struggled with his driver, but managed to stay in contention with his short game skills. Mickelson's drive on the 18th hole went wildly left, hitting a tree and landing in the spectator area. This left him in a difficult position to recover. Instead of playing safe, Mickelson attempted a risky shot to slice the ball back onto the fairway. The ball hit another tree, advancing only about 25 yards. Now in the rough, Mickelson again tried to reach the green, but caught a tree branch, sending the ball into a greenside bunker. From the bunker, his shot sailed over the green and into the rough, making his chances of saving par extremely slim. Mickelson chipped on and then 2-putted, ultimately finishing with a double bogey that left him 1 stroke behind the winner, Geoff Ogilvy. Following the round, Mickelson famously said, "I'm such an idiot," acknowledging his overly aggressive strategy when a more conservative approach could have secured the win. Jordan Spieth, 2016 Masters. Jordan Spieth's collapse at the 2016 Masters was surprising given his dominant form. Spieth entered the final round with a 1-shot lead that extended to 5 strokes after making birdies on the last 4 holes of the front 9. The collapse began at the 10th hole after finding the trees off the tee and failing to get up and down. This resulted in a bogey. He then bogeyed the 11th hole after hitting his approach into the water. The defining moment, however, came at the par 3 12th hole, known as Golden Bell. Spieth hit his tee shot into Rays Creek, took a drop, and then hit his next shot into the water again. After a third attempt, which ended up in the bunker, he ultimately carded a quadruple bogey 7. This series of mistakes turned a 5-shot lead into a 3-shot deficit. Spieth's collapse opened the door for Danny Willett, who played a flawless final round to win the tournament by 3 strokes. Tom Watson, 2009 British Open. Tom Watson's performance at the 2009 Open Championship at Turnberry is remembered as both a remarkable achievement and a heartbreaking collapse. At age 59, Watson entered the final round of the 2009 Open Championship with a 1-shot lead, putting him on the verge of becoming the oldest major champion in history. Watson played solid golf throughout the round and needed only a par on the 18th hole to secure his 6th Open Championship victory. His approach shot on the 18th landed perfectly on the green, but ran past the hole, leaving an 8-foot putt for par. Watson's par putt on the 18th hole was slightly overhit, leading to a bogey that forced a 4-hole playoff with Stewart Cink. The missed putt was crucial, as it shifted the momentum. During the playoff, Watson's game faltered. He made bogeys on the first 2 playoff holes, while Cink played steady golf, eventually winning the playoff and the championship. Despite the loss, Watson received widespread admiration for his incredible performance at such an advanced age. Greg Norman, 1996 Masters. Greg Norman's collapse at the 1996 Masters tournament is one of the most significant and dramatic in golf history. Norman entered the final round of the 1996 Masters with a 6-shot lead, the largest final round advantage in the tournament's history at that time. His commanding position made him the clear favorite to win. Norman started the final round poorly. He made a bogey on the first hole, which was the beginning of a series of mistakes. The collapse intensified with mistakes on crucial holes. Notably, he made bogeys on the 9th and 10th holes. The turning point came on the 12th hole, where he hit 2 shots into the water, leading to a double bogey. Norman's struggles continued as he bogeyed the 14th and 16th holes. By the end of the round, he had shot a 78. Norman finished the tournament tied for 2nd place, losing to Nick Faldo, who took advantage of Norman's collapse to win. Arnold Palmer, 1966 U.S. Open. Arnold Palmer's collapse at the 1996 U.S. Open at the Olympic Club is one of the most notable collapses in past history. Arnold Palmer started the final round with a comfortable lead, but by the 10th hole, he was 7 strokes ahead of Billy Casper, his nearest competitor. The collapse began at the 11th hole, where Palmer's game began to unravel. He carded 4 bogeys and 2 double bogeys over the last 9 holes. His aggressive play, leading to go for birdies rather than conserving his lead, was seen as a major factor in his downfall. Billy Casper capitalized on Palmer's mistakes, playing a steady and strategic round. Casper birdied 4 of the last 6 holes, erasing Palmer's lead and forcing an 18-hole playoff the next day. In the playoff, Palmer initially led by 2 strokes after the first 9 holes. However, Casper's steady play prevailed as Palmer continued to struggle, eventually losing the playoff by 4 strokes. The aftermath of this defeat was particularly devastating for Palmer, as it was seen as a missed opportunity to secure his 8th major title. In conclusion, these stories illustrate how even the most skilled golfers can face significant challenges that prove to be too much for the occasion. For more golf content, tune into our next video on Golf TV, where we get into one of golf's most infamous cheats. Is Patrick Reed always going to have the legacy of a cheat? Till next time.